I'm sorry. I hope that this is all right with everyone, that we are recording this session. So let's go back. Sorry. I lost my focus a little bit, but okay. I hope you don't mind. So I will repeat once again, the maximum size of the grant that you can request from the Western Balkans Fund is 15,000 euros, and the maximum percentage of the grant funding requested from the WBF must not exceed 80% of the total eligible cost of the action, while 20% needs to be co-financed by you. In a greater detail about this, my colleagues and I will discuss when we come to the budget, not to lose any time right now explaining this, because the budget section of the application, we will go through each cost and we will describe this in a more comprehensive way. You can apply within this call once as a lead applicant, meaning that you're the one who is in charge and responsible for this project. And you can apply many times as a partner with other organizations who are carrying on the project as the lead applicant. So, in the next part, we will talk about the eligibility of the applicants, project partners, actions, and the cost. In order to be eligible to apply within this call, you as the lead applicant or lead organization, you must be established in one or more of the WBF contracting parties that I named. We call the countries of the Western Balkans contracting parties. So we hope that this does not confuse you, this terminology. Also, you must be non-profit making, and you have to be an organization that is either civil society, local, regional public entity, a business association such as agriculture, tourism, chamber of business, educational institutions such as university, faculty, school, library, and also if you're part of the private university, you're eligible to apply, as well as media associations, organizations working with journalism to promote freedom of expression, as well as institutions of the sports and culture. So this is not the complete list, but as long as you are non-for-profit and established in one of the contracting parties, you are eligible to apply. As you know, within this call, you need to form partnerships. You need to form partnerships. You need to be, as I said, from one of the contracting parties, and you need at least 2 partners from 2 different contracting parties. Meaning, if your organization from Albania, you need to have a partner either from North Macedonia, Montenegro, Serbia, or Bosnia and Herzegovina and Kosovo. In case you still do not have a partner, you can go to our Facebook page where you can find the WBF Partnership Platform, which is an open group in which you can sign in and post any question you may have regarding the partnerships. Every day we receive up to 100 new registrations, and we can see that it's quite active, and we have supported projects that had found partnerships within this platform. Western Balkans Fund operates in 3 areas, or we support projects in 3 areas of cooperation. One of them is cultural cooperation, And some of the type of actions that are specific for this intervention with which you may apply can deal either with cultural heritage, intercultural dialogue, interfaith dialogue, protection and awareness raising, regional sports competitions, assemblies of museums, art galleries, or any kind of sharing and promotion of the culture. Next area of intervention is education and scientific exchange. In this area, you can apply with the projects that are related to sharing best practices in education, supporting research initiatives in research and academia, research exchanges, facilitating dialogue, promoting innovation, excellence, long learning, and mobility. Just a second. And the next area of intervention is sustainable development. In this area, you can organize projects that deal with promoting of innovation, environmental protection, supporting sustainable growth for tourism, science and industry cooperation. Also, we would like to stress out that we are aware that your projects do not fit a lot of times in only one of area of intervention, that you sometimes can have a mix of two or more, and we completely support that, and you don't have to be limited to one, because we know a lot of times culture and educations are intertwined, as well as sustainable development with education. So as long as you provide a justification in which area of intervention your action will be, it's great for us. Another thing that my colleague will later on discuss is cross-cutting topics that you will have to mention within the project. In the cross-cutting topics are those topics that are also intertwined with one of these areas of intervention, such as youth, green agenda, European integration, gender equality. So more in detail about this, my colleague will tell you in the next part. So when applying within this scope, please make sure that your project cannot be shorter than 3 months, and that it cannot be longer than 10 months. We also suggest, when you're making plan of the activities, to include in your timeline 1 month for reporting. So if you plan to have activities for 8 months, please make sure that in the proposal it's up to 9 months, and that you include the reporting. As for the location, all activities should take place in the Western Balkans. We had a lot of questions about can the activity be taken in the country of the lead applicant or the country of the partners. It's up to you and your partners to decide where the action will take place, as long as it benefits the overall goal of your project. How to fill in and prepare project application form. I will now share the screen about the online grant management system. In just a second. Okay, before moving also to this, we have one question that says, my question is, if someone is a coordinator from one partner institution for one action, can he be expert for another activity? Our partnerships is with universities, and some of the coordinators are professors or experts in the field project. More about this, we will discuss in the budget. So we will keep note on this project. We have partners from Rijeka that are part of our regional network. Is it possible to have one project partner from Croatia? Activities would take place in Bosnia and Herzegovina and Serbia. Yes, as long as you have two partners that are from the other contracting parties that are different from yours, like when you meet the minimum eligibility criteria, you can have any additional project partners from outside of the region or the EU. Can there be two partners from the same country? Yes, but after you already have two partners from the other two countries. Our organization, together with other organizations from the area Western Balkans, implements a project funded by EU, civil society, facilities, and media program from the Western Balkans. This project requires co-financing, and WBF can be excellent opportunity for that. Namely, we are applying to hold a regional training for trainers and participants from the countries of the Western Balkans who will conduct these trainings within their countries. The training for trainers would apply to the WBF if the WBF rules apply to co-financing and the EU funded project. About this and double financing and co-financing, my colleagues will tell you more in the budget. We will keep this question for then, and also please feel free to ask questions in your native language, because my colleagues and I, we speak all the local languages. So if you don't feel comfortable expressing in English, feel free to ask any question in your own language. So before moving on, let me know, can you see the screen that I'm sharing right now with the portal? Or you still see the presentation?
No, we see applicant portal.
Oh, super. Thank you. My colleague Uroš will now take over.
3 questions more.
Oh, sorry.
Just to check. Okay, perfect.
Okay. Yeah, we will address these 2 questions when we come to the budget as well. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you. Hello, all. Hopefully, you can hear me. So now we will go through the OGMS. We call it online monitoring grant system. So that is the system which you will use for developing and delivering your project application. And when you are awarded with the grant, then you will use it for monitoring and reporting. So it's really good opportunity to learn something about the system. We will now go through the basics of the project development. So if we can go to the project summary. So as we are really limited with the time, some of the questions I will skip, which I don't think they're important at this moment. And if you have a question, please let me know. This first part, it's mainly about your information. So, as my colleague Tanya said, you need to be a legal organization which has a legal capacity. So we specified all of that. And these first left column are actually about that. So name of your organization, contracting party, which is actually where your legal seat is. It's not related to the place of your project activities. Date of establishment, that question is really important for us, just to see, evaluate, assess, are you grassroots organization or not? And please be aware that you can be established 200 years ago, like university, and still to be a grassroots organization if you do not have previous experience in the regional cooperation in any field which we have mentioned. So that is important just to know, and it's important actually for our internal indicators and measures So it's not exclusion criteria. Regarding your communication email addresses, please use the address of the project coordinator or project manager. So it does not need to be the email of your legal representative. Why? Because we will use this email in daily communication with you. Not only about negotiation of the project proposal in one stage, but also we will send you a lot of questionnaires or questions and similar. And also the name of the contact person, it does not need to be your legal representative. When it comes to website, it is or LinkedIn and Facebook, social networks, and so on. This part is really important for evaluators, because when we are reading and assessing the quality of your project proposal, we need to know how relevant the project proposal is for you. Do you have previous experience? What are your previous projects, or who are your previous donors, and similar. So it would be really nice to fulfill this part. If you are a grassroots organization and do not have website, at least put some Facebook page or Instagram and similar. And these three questions are also not exclusion questions, but they are important for our internal checking of the number of applicants, where applications are coming from, and similar. I would like to add that you need to pay attention in this gray part, which is related to budget. So when you are developing your budget, and we will cover that part later, please check that the overall amounts are matching with these amounts here. Sometimes system can do the mumbo jumbo or the magic. So it would be really nice to have the same amounts. And the field above, it's related to your places of activities where you will conduct them. When it comes to title of the project proposal, please be short. You can be creative, but sometimes it happens that project applicant fulfill the whole paragraph, and then it's problematic not only from perspective of visibility, but also contracts. So we had problems when you sign a contract with such a long name, then it is hard to make a good communication plan, not only for you, but also for us. Okay, maybe questions.
Okay, if we can share the PowerPoint, that was the question. Is it possible to send a presentation?
You can download the guidelines in the system. It is the short version of the guidelines.
And also on the website, we have frequently asked questions from all the previous calls, through which you can also go and see some of the
The also
questions.
will be published tomorrow, the questions that we received within this call.
When it comes to project partners, so as Ksenia said, it's 2+1. If you are a lead applicant, you need to have at least 2 more project partners from different contracting parties, and you are asked here to fulfill also basic information about them, type of organization, name of organization, and similar. Contacts which are important for us, and make assured that before you write down their names and contacts, that they are informed, because at one stage after the primary evaluation of your project, you will be asked to deliver a project partnership agreement. So everything which is related to you in terms of legal obligations is also related to your project partners. So they also need to be registered in the region and fulfill all criteria which you also need to fulfill.
Just before we move on, just make sure that your partner is not in Albanian, it is SHPK or SHAA, or in Serbo-Croatian, it is
DOO.
DOO
And LTD in English.
LTD, yes.
All of these questions, which we will go now through, you can find them also in guidelines for applicants, and you will see the number of points for each, let's say, topic or part of the application. And maximum number, it's points, so every question is really important. Now we will go through what we are asking when we are asking. And on your right side, you will see the maximum number of words which you can use. Just use it as a guideline. So you're not expecting for you to fulfill 500 words for saying the first question. As long as you are logical, clear, and concise, we are completely okay with also a smaller number of words. So it's possible to be clear even with 100 or 150 words. And if you don't know what you're talking about, you can use 1,000 words and still you will not be clear. So clear, logic, and concise. That is the most important. When we are asking you about the partners, we are actually asking you about the quality of the project partnership and the relevance of your project proposal. So just explain to us what is the type of partnership? Do you have previous experience with them in regional cooperation, or it's your first time, what they are dealing with, and how their experience can contribute to the project proposal. Level of involvement of the project partners can be even in preparation of project proposal, during the implementation or the reporting. Please develop and define how they will be engaged. It is completely in line with the rules that they can be included only during the implementation and reporting. And for example, you have developed the project proposal, but it's also completely okay to be involved, they to be involved in all three stages. During the project preparation, only you can fulfill the project proposal. So with your profile, so with your credentials, but you can develop a project proposal in Word and then copy paste. For example, a lot of my previous grantees actually use that approach, especially if they are dealing with some specific topics. So transfer of knowledge between project partners is really huge. I will just add, both of these questions are maximum 5 points, so they are really important. When it comes to the project summary, you will see that the minimum is 3 months, maximum is 10 months, but be aware that reporting period is also included in this 10 months period. So your project can be theoretically B9 plus 1 month. So 9 months of activities, different activities, project activities, and 1 month of reporting. When it comes to overall objective of the project, should be logically linked and related to overall objective of the call for proposals. You can see overall objective of the call for proposals in our guidelines, and please make a logical connection between these two. I don't know, am I clear? Or we have questions? Okay. No, they just.
This is again for the budget. We will explain this.
When it comes to specific objectives, not a problem. as long as your specific objective is logically connected to overall objective. You will never fulfill overall objective just based on implementation of this project proposal, but you will have idea what is the, let's say, regional need within this call for proposal, and you will, by implementing your project proposal or in that stage project, you will fulfill your specific objectives. These specific objectives should be realistic, achievable, precise, and measurable. When we say measurable, you need to know in that specific objective what you want to achieve. And it will be easy for us and for you to see in the reporting period, have you achieved or not. As I said, overall objective you will never achieve only by doing this project. You are also asked about target groups and final beneficiaries. Your target groups are the people who you are directly working with during the project implementation. So these target groups can be students in Belgrade University, political from age 20 to 25. So it can be really specific, or you can say that you will deal with marginalized groups in village or whatever. It's the topic of your project proposal, but what we are actually asking here, do you know who your target groups are, and also previous experience, what is the quality of your previous cooperation, and similar. When it comes to final beneficiaries, it's broader range of people who will be affected by successful implementation of your project proposal. And don't forget to put us, like WBF, Western Balkans Fund, as a final beneficiaries. Why? Because if you successfully fulfill your project, then we will also fulfill our regional impact, which is defined in the background information of guidelines for applicants. When it comes to main activities, be as concise as possible. We evaluators actually like to have it once before. It is also okay if you use a lyric approach, but these activities should be also clear and easy to track. They need to be connected to your specific objectives and then later with results. Results should be easy to measure and clear. When I say easy to measure, for example, result empowering or establishing partnership between two project partners, that is not result. Why? Because it is really hard to measure, let's say. But if you say a memorandum of understanding has been signed between two project partners, then we can measure it easily, and that's good result. Of course, that depends on your project proposal, but you can say successfully established or successfully organized 10 workshops and so on. Please use past tense. So results are achieved when your project is finished. When it comes to your mission and goals of your organization, we want to see not only your previous experience, but what you want to do in the region through your project for your organization. Maybe you want to better connect yourself with regional stakeholders. Maybe you want to gain new knowledge about your target groups and final beneficiaries or whatever. So we don't ask you here to copy paste your mission and goals and mission of your organization, but we just want to see how they are related actually to the project proposal, and then later how they are related to our mission and goals. We have 2 questions.
Can you give us an example of differences between specific objective and results in WBF vocabulary?
Okay, so results are direct outputs, are sometimes also outcomes of your project proposal or project. So let's say that your project proposal is about organizing the conference about sustainable development. So result will be successfully organized one conference on that and that topic, and then I don't know, engage the 300 participants. When it comes to specific objectives in this regard would be raise awareness of marginalized groups in sustainable development, let's say. So hopefully you can make a difference. Result is easy to measure and it's directly connected to your project activities. And all of results and activities are contributing to your specific objective and overall objective.
For example, if I just may add, just to give them different perspective, if you're planning to organize a festival, the overall goal, we know that festival cannot accomplish objective that is measurable. What you can assume is that, for example, the overall objective to increase tolerance among artists in the region. That would be the overall objective. Like this is what you aim for. Because together with artists, you increase also the awareness of the public that attends there. However, during the process, you can put some results or some specific objectives that you want to reach. How do you increase this awareness among artists? For example, provide direct mentorship to artists on regional cooperation and, I don't know, like some cello festival. And specific results would be organized 4 sessions where musicians had the opportunity to share their experiences. Someone is talking. Can you please mute yourself? So the results could be something that is during the process and that is easily measured. It's not only based on the output. The MOU doesn't show that your result was achieved. Like, for example, if you say, we have signed the MOU among musicians, and that is a result achieved. No, result should cover the process. Because that's why it is more like linked, as Uroš was saying, with the overall objective. While output can be easily measured because you have participation lists, you have pictures, you have MOUs, you have other deliverables that you can justify the activity, but the result is harder to be justified.
Can you please clarify this part of the application? How does the project align with your mission? Yes, it pertains solely to the primary applicant or also encompasses consideration of partner organizations?
If you remember, you had 2 questions. One is about your mission and vision, but first question about the project partnership. So here it's only about lead applicant, but you are asked how this project partnership in the part of project partners, I think, yes, it's the third part, how this project partner consortia is related to the project. So in this part, we are trying to assess the nature of the project partnership, but in the project summary, you're asked only about your mission and goals as the lead applicant.
And the value, this we will discuss in the budget part.
Indicative date, you can put April 2024.
Is it required to have documents for applying in English, statute of registration?
Even now, you can post your questions in your local language. We speak all the WB6 languages, so no problem.
if I understood Uroš correctly, partners can also be private
No.
companies. This is
No, no,
No,
We
that
only
is
know.
don't.
no. All requirements for you are the same requirements for project partners. They should be legal non-profit established in WBS.
WB6.
WBS, sorry.
Vlora asks, can we apply from the Center of Excellence that is part of our university?
It is public institution, yes.
Yes, you will also provide like statute as a proof of your legal connection, but that's okay.
You just gave, thank you. Can we, okay, so this is it for now.
Mhm.
Okay, now,
Admit Vlora Berisha.
so we've done project summary now, relevance.
Mhm. Relevance of the project is really important part of your project proposal, and take your time when you are developing your project proposal, because here you will be asked about regional context. Is there a real need for the project proposal and set of activities, results, and so on in the region? And please refer to existing legal frameworks, researches, and similar. Now, when you are asked about how this project proposal is related to regional challenges, we are asking you not only how your project proposal will solve or try to solve regional challenges and needs, but also is your project built on some previous experiences? These previous experiences should be related to regional context, but you don't need to be a previous implementator of similar activities. We just want to see is there still real need and how you want to solve it. That's it. When it comes to overall objective of the call and WBF mission, and in regards to regional cooperation and people-to-people links, I think that this part is self-explanatory. When it comes to objectives of the call and WBF mission and your project proposal, you can find details in guidelines for applicants. So we were really detailed, and you know that list is not exhausted when it comes how we are trying through your grant giving to solve and to increase the regional cooperation. So that is basically it, because we want to help you, to empower you in regional cooperation and building of people-to-people links. We are doing that through giving you funds, but your project should actually increase that regional cooperation, and all of this is logically connected. Hopefully that was relevance of the project proposal to areas of intervention and cross-cutting issues. As Ksenia said, we have 3 areas of intervention: culture, education, and sustainable development. You can use one of them, or you can use a multi-sectoral approach, meaning that you combine 2 and more. We just want to see how your project proposal fits to, let's say, I don't know, cultural cooperation and cross-cutting issues. In the guidelines, you can find what cross-cutting issues are. Cross-cutting issues are not only green agenda, but also inclusion of marginalized groups, youth, rural area people, women, and similar, like you have hundreds of them. You are encouraged to put as much as possible which are logically connected to your project proposal. In previous calls, we had applicants who put all of cross-cutting issues, which are first of all over-ambitious, second of all non-realistic, As long as your cross-cutting issue is related to area of intervention and your project proposal, you are completely fine only with one cross-cutting issue. But please don't put all of them if it is not possible to fulfill it. Because against this question, you will be evaluated during the project implementation. And once again, we just put it 1,000 words, but feel free to explain even in 100 words, which is completely possible. And even I, who this topic is, I cannot talk 100 words on this topic. When it comes to real needs of target groups and final beneficiaries in local and regional context, this question is combination of all previous ones. So you will describe needs and constraints of your final beneficiaries and target groups, and based on the regional context, which you described based on, I don't know, legal framework, strategic implementation of documents, whatever. So needs, strategic, and then you will combine that in your project proposal. We are actually asking in this question that how all of these real state of play reflects on the region and how your project proposal wants to solve it. And just to clarify, does it mean that these units within private higher education cannot apply?
No, we said that even private universities can apply.
And these centers for excellences and so on, if they are legally connected to university, you can apply, but pay attention. So then in that regard, then you will need to prove that you are legally connected with them. So statute or because sometimes it happens that in some calls that offices for youths are legally actually not legal representatives, but they are municipalities or something like that. So you can apply, just need to prove how you are connected, can be a partner, a government organization in the project application.
What do you call government organization? Because I don't, we don't understand. What do you
Can
mean?
you be more specific? Should we come up with questions about applying for the funds? Is there someone we can email?
No.
We
collect all your questions and publish them together. We do not respond to any individual concerns because this would give us, would make us giving advantages to one applicant while the other would not have the same information.
There is no annex B in the application for partners. It is now.
It is at the later stage.
Yes. Does this project duration, including the reporting, needs to be finished by end of 2024? So if we start in March, so 10 months from April, sorry, 10 months from April, it should be closed.
Meaning in February 2025.
Yes. And
is
you
the
have,
maximum.
and you have that indicative timetable on the last page of the guidelines for applicants.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay. Before we move on to methodology, does anybody need any additional information or just explanation what Uroš was explaining until now? The reason why we are asking this is that we have received very much basic questions also via email. And for us, most of the questions that we received, the responses are already in the guidelines. While you develop the application form, please print the guideline. And while you do it, because we have tried really to be very much guiding also how to develop the application form. For example, the question that was before, like in your vocabulary, what a result means, in the guidelines, you also have types of activities, what we mean with cultural cooperation, what we mean with education. like what these activities should look like. If it's an event, how it should be implemented. If it's a research, how it should be implemented. So that's why I'm saying, do not rely only on the information that you receive from us. Refresh your memory by going through the guidelines. We have one question.
We are an organization legally registered under the national Albanian law with the seat in Tirana, but our statute and headquarters are Italian. Are we eligible to apply with this call for proposal?
In the previous calls, we had the same case where the headquarters was in Italy, but let's say the sister organization was established in Tirana. As long as you pay taxes in Albania, as long as you are established according to Albanian laws, for us, it's like you are considered as a local NGO without having in mind where your HQ is.
Any other questions before we move on?
You can even unmute yourself and take the stage. Like for us, it's completely okay. And please ask us in your local language. We will respond. It's not mandatory to speak English. For us, it is, but for them, not. Okay. Okay, so the methodology here, please, having one more question. For us, it is very much, I was thinking about governmental organization. Okay, because when you say governmental organization, we always think of a ministry. And what we cannot fund are the direct, let's say, we are funded, as Ksenia was saying, we are funded by the government. And please try to understand, we cannot fund our funders. That is the case. Once you say governmental, for us, it rings a bell that you may be a ministry or something that it reports to the ministry, to certain ministry. So in this case, it is completely okay to be a governmental agency, but still you have your own mission, your own statute, and like you do not respond directly to the parliament or to the I don't know.
So you're a public institution.
Public institution, I would say.
Yes, like we said before, like all these agencies, local agencies, chambers of business, chambers of tourism, clusters of agricultural producers,
Yes.
veterinary, so
Museums
yes,
also. Yes.
museums, it's all eligible.
For example, like even museums, theaters are considered governmental institutions because they get the budget from the taxpayers. And they have the laws that their budget is to be approved by the parliament and stuff like that. But still, we can fund them because they are not directly linked with the government. We do not circulate the money from the government to the museum, but it goes directly to the museum. Okay. The methodology, implementation, approach, and risks. Have in mind that if you do not know how to perfectly write the methodology, do not feel bad, because within the grant contract that we sign with the grantees, we foresee also to organize capacity development events. If your project idea is really good, for us, it doesn't matter if the English is not the best. Do not try to use ChatGPT, because ChatGPT in a lot of questions, for example, as Uroš was explaining, when you type, define me the target groups, just to admit this, define me the target groups, ChatGPT gives you a very broad definition of the target groups, while your project is very small, but your definition is very big. That shows that there is no consistency, and the project idea was not very well thought. Have in mind that people who read your project application form are from the region, and we know more or less what are the needs and constraints of our region. So be more realistic, be more with 2 foot on the ground, and everything will be fine. Here, when we say, just let me read, please provide detailed description and timelines of activities to be implemented within the project. The best way here for you to understand how to do this is also to put the result. For example, because in the previous or section, you write overall objective, you write the specific objective and results and target audience. But here, you write the activities. For example, if you want to make it easier for yourself and easier for the person who reads it, it would be good if you include result 1, for example. Result 1, 20 students from the region increase their leadership skills. And then under that, you put activity 1. And you should not put processes, but milestone activities. For example, one summer camp, organizing a summer camp on leadership from June to July. Because this way, it will make you better keep track if you're fulfilling the result, if you're accomplishing the overall objective, and also the activity is in line what you stated before. Have in mind, not only for us as a donor, but for every single donor, there is Uroš was telling you that results should be written in the past tense, while activities should be written in continuous tense. For example, organizing, conducting, because you never know that you may have some risks that the activity cannot be considered as accomplished without being conducted, let's say. What is the organization structure and the team proposed for the implementation of the project? The organizational structure here, you can put, do not put names. For example, Uroš Stakovic is the project manager coming from the lead applicant. No. You can say that in this partnership, in this joint initiative, like you can call it as you want, one project manager will be handling the overall process or will be in charge for the overall implementation. Agron, mute yourself.
Hello.
So in this stage, you need to say that for example, this joint initiative will have one project manager who will take charge for the overall implementation, coordination among partners, and reporting to the donor. And then, if you have one person taking charge for finances, reporting, implementation, everything, it's completely fine. However, you need to list the experts. The experts here are very much important, because in this stage we need to understand that we know actually that you as a small organization, you do not have all the knowledge in-house and you need to outsource some of the expertise. But please include it here and explain why you need it. For example, if your organization is perfect in, I don't know, rural development, but you need an expert on pesticides, and your organization doesn't have that expert, it's completely fine, it's understandable. Monitoring, I will try to excel in this task in front of my colleague. So we know that you as a small organization, usually, and also for this money and this amount of time, organizations struggle to have perfect monitoring process in place. However, for us, it is very much important to understand if you have at least some basic knowledge. For example, maybe the methodology could be having regular communication, having regular reporting, I don't know, conducting satisfactory survey with the applicants. You you can list the processes of monitoring or tools of monitoring, or both. Like if you are expert on that, it's better than anything. But even if you are not perfectly equipped with that skill, my colleague Urosh will guide you throughout the implementation how to have a better monitoring. So we have planned to have monitoring workshops for you to understand why it is so much important when you implement donor-funded initiatives. Do you need to add anything?
No, no.
Uh,
Them.
risks. Here, please list potential risks and how you plan to mitigate them. For example, a lot of risks, because we know that from one section to another, when you write from the beginning, you think that you have everything clear. Have it in mind that the risks have to be very much linked with the geographical position where you are, political situation, and also like geographical or environmental, whatever, and social risks. For example, in our region, we know that if you want to organize something outdoor and you are from some mountainous area, you have to be very much good in planning. When do you think your activity can take place without being jeopardized by the bad weather? But if you put as a risk just the bad weather, for us doesn't say much, because we need to know bad weather for what. Like, even though before you outline what is your activity, but how this bad weather can impact your activity. Like, just by saying a festival, we don't know what it means. Like, also, one of the risks is that if you conduct a summer camp or you organize a summer camp involving all WB6 students, one of the social risks is the English speaking, because if you plan to have the event or summer camp, it has to be in English, or it can be in any WB6 languages, but you need to have in mind that you need to provide translation, because our youth doesn't speak all regional languages. And this is one of the risks that will divide them more than it will bring them together. So that is one social risk that may impact your attendance, but also by making it in English only will leave out a lot of potential students. So this is one of the risks that you should have in mind, and it has some financial implications. Explain how the action will be made sustainable after the completion. So here we think that while you developed all the sections until now, you already have an idea how this joint initiative will be sustainable. We understand that sustainability, it is the least interesting part for you to write, but you have to know that sustainability can be can be given by the community, being community sustainable, something, for example, that will remain with the community. For example, if it is a festival that is organized first, for example, for the first time, let's say in Čačak, and the community of Čačak really wants to continue having this jazz festival, that is something that it can be given to that community. You can continue working with that community in upcoming years, or just give them the idea to continue, where you can be just partnering with this, I don't know, municipality of Čačak wants to continue with jazz, and they can consult you in the future how to organize this jazz festival. So this is the community sustainability. Governmental sustainability is something that your government finds it interesting to continue supporting your idea. Donor sustainability. For example, if you think that it is for WBF as a donor, something that it is worth of continuing financing, please include it. Why? For example, it contributes to, I don't know what, or something that we don't have and we might need it in the future, but be consistent by understanding who this joint initiative serves to, and this is how you get to the sustainability of your action. If it is more community-based, then try to make sure that your community will have the demand for this initiative to continue. If it is something that connects both government and community, try to convince the government to continue funding such initiatives. And if it is triangulated by all of us, try to convince also us that it is very much important for WBF to set aside some funds for this initiative to continue, while you will lobby to the government and other donors to enhance this idea in the future. Do you have any questions before we continue? You can press the microphone, unmute yourself, and it would be also easier for us to get to know you, because this is like talking to ourselves. Okay, we will continue. Visibility. The visibility part, as you see in the guidelines, it is also scored. And do not try to overlook it, thinking, okay, I will copy paste from other projects something and will make it applicable for this one. Have in mind that WBF has its own visibility guidelines, and your visibility objectives and the objectives have to be linked to the project, because the visibility guidelines, the communication guidelines that we have, during the negotiation phase, we may ask you to change some of the maybe instruments that you plan to use to promote this action, or maybe to better link the communication objectives with the proposed project. So you don't have to be scientifically great in this section, but it would be very much important for you to understand how this project will be better understood by the community that you're serving, and how you will outreach them. What are the communication visibility tools? Here it is very much known for all of you. If you plan to use your website or partner's website, media, social media, newsletter, blogs, podcast, publications, brochure, infographics. However, it is not enough to write just infographics, right? Try to tell us what infographics and how you will collect them. Because if you say infographics, we don't know if you're going to collect it from other organizations and analyze it on your own. What is the methodology behind it? If you say website, or for example, you don't have a website, but your partner has, it doesn't jeopardize you for getting lower scores. What it means is that you have thought it well how to make this joint initiative have a bigger outreach by including also your partners. If you have social media, for example, you have a Facebook page, you have 1,000 followers, and you write it here that you will reach 5,000 followers. We know that is not true. Please be consistent with what you have. If you have 1,000 followers, it is totally fine, as long as you are aware about it and you're not trying to sugarcoat it for us to sound more convincing. Because during the negotiation phase, we will make you change it as per your current situation. Okay, no questions.
Now favorite part,
favorite
that
part.
everybody has a lot of questions.
As Xenia before mentioned, but it seems that you, if you are at home, make yourself a coffee and let's talk together here. So first of all, if you see these cells that we put, for example, project manager, project assistant, project coordinator, these are just a guiding process for you. If you press the X part, or plus, let's start with plus. If you need to add more columns, for example, let's put 1.4 project coordinator, partner 1, partner 2, okay. And then here, per month, let's put it per month, 6. So we are aware that CSOs really need to have financial flow. However, it is more realistic for you to put the number of units, in this case, number of months realistically, because we know that once the project starts, if you start on April, and your activity, first project partner activity, let's say kickoff meeting, is in May, we understand that this person, the project coordinator of partner 2, cannot be paid from the first month because the person's engagement starts from the second month. So try to be realistic when you plan the units. The total cost here should include the cost of the contract that the person has with the organization that is working. Co-financing by you, for example, you plan to cover out of 1,200 euros, which is the current salary of the person, and WBF will cover 1,000. It is completely fine because in the end of the day, we don't want you to make additional contract. We know how to calculate what we need from you when you do the reporting. It is the contract that you have with the applicant. For us, it is enough to have the justification here that this person will be paid by WBF 1,000 euros and 2,000 will be paid by you.
And this is brutto.
Yes, brutto. So as Ksenia is writing, please have in mind that justification, it is very much important also for you, because you will understand how you can monitor the performance of this person. And Ksenia is writing now, I don't know if you see it. For example, project coordinator, partner 2, will be engaged in the project implementation for 6 months. She will help the lead applicant something, and will take care of the participants coming from the partner, from that CP that the partner comes. You need to emphasize that this person has a regular contract. For example, the project coordinator is already employed by the partner organization, for example, for 2 years, and will be in charge for this joint initiative for the certain period. I hope you see what is Ksenia writing. So this is one of the ways that not only the lead applicant gives the co-financing. This is also a way for the partners to be more included in the process. This is the way that you can contribute to the project. Because as it was stated before, this project has to be co-financed. Let's continue to the next one. If you don't need this many cells, please press X. Delete one. You see, it completely goes away. When you do the human resources, have in mind that the human resources cannot exceed the 30% of 15,000 from WBF. The total amount that you can allocate for human resources, it is 4,500. 30% of 15,000. If you go for the big maximum amount. No questions?
Okay, one question.
Okay.
Do you count volunteering work hours as in-kind contribution, and if yes, how it's counted?
So this is a very common question for us, but also you and us know that you need to have some contract for this, even if that is regulated by your national laws. Even volunteers, a law on voluntarism requires some kind of document that proves that you are really doing it. You need to have some contract, and as we know, in the contract, you need to put some monetary value. So just think from our perspective, we need to have some viable document that justifies that this work that you provided, it is, I don't know, justifiable.
Justifiable. So it's a financial measure for non-financial cost. Put it simply, I hope that I'm simple. So that person will be engaged 10 days, and the real like price for 1 day is 150 euros. You will not pay him or her. You will have the legal framework how he or she are engaged, but he or she, together with you, will sign the contract and the declaration that they have worked 10 days, but they were not paid. And it's calculated, as I said, so it's co-financing, but in kind contribution. It has a financial measure, but it's not real money.
So the Rural Development Network of Bosnia and Herzegovina, Angelina, based on your question, Ksenia can read it.
Yes, I mentioned it before, but I will read it once again because we promised that we will come back to these questions once we do the project, the budget. So it says our organization, together with other organizations from the area of Western Balkans, implements a project funded by the EU Civil Society Facilities and Media Program in the Western Balkans. The project requires co-financing, and WBF can be excellent opportunity for that. Namely, we are planning to hold regional training for trainers, for participants from the countries of the Western Balkans, who will then conduct these trainings in their own countries. This training for trainers would apply to WBF if WBF rules allow to apply for co-financing of EU-funded projects. I think this is an excellent opportunity for WBF to support projects and partnerships that have already been formed in the areas of the WB and are ongoing. But at the same time, the answer would mean that we do not invest energy in the preparation of application if they will be rejected administratively because they do not support co-financing of the EU projects. Thank you.
So, Angelina, I don't know if you're with us still. I would like to ask you one question. If the project is that you are already implementing, does it contribute to the overall objective of the call that we have? Start from there and see how much it contributes, and you make a decision to apply or not. We do not have limitations to reject you just because you want to co-finance your EU-funded project. As long as your idea contributes to the objective of this call, for us, it's not the case to be rejected.
Okay. We also had a question before from Real University. If someone is a coordinator from one partner institution of the action, can she be an expert in other activity? Our partnership is with universities, and some of the coordinators are professors or experts in the field of the project.
As long as you do not include in both budget lines, in HR and direct activity costs, you can include them without a problem. But if you plan to pay the person on monthly basis, for example, 200 euros, and then in direct activity cost, to pay them by day because the person has the expertise, we need to delete one. Because it is double financing, and that is the primary rule that we cannot cross.
Okay. Diane asked also before, can we purchase not renting the equipment for the project action under this call?
In the guidelines, it is clearly stated that you cannot. But I don't know what equipment. For example, we had the project, Senia can explain it better, with birds. That was
Yeah, we had the projects with the birds where they had to buy the tracking rings. So we consider those as consumables because they were put on the birds and they were never seen again. They did not stay with the organization. They were just used for data collection. Again, Dayan, human resources costs may means only project team or other experts or consultant, including in this
No.
cost.
direct action costs foresees consultants and experts, and they are paid by day, not by month. Also, you should learn for other project proposals when you develop with donors. Any donor, when you apply for funds, cannot include project team into experts team as long as you're consulting company, that you are paid by level of efforts. However, if you have a project team and you think that they can contribute to this project, but you need their expertise for certain activity, you make a decision where it is better to be put as an expert or as a project team, but it cannot be in both.
Okay, this we're done. Can the value of the project be more than 15,000 euros, or is it 15,000 euros with our 20%? And is the 20% only included from the lead partner or all partners? Okay, so the overall that you can ask from the Western Balkans Fund is 15,000 euros, but if you want to apply, let's say, with 13,000, your overall amount of the project will be 15,000 euros, and this would cover your 20% co-financing. In case you're asking full amount of 15,000 euros, meaning your total budget should be somewhere around 17,000 euros. 20%, as we mentioned a little bit before, it can be covered both either from the lead applicant or from together with the partners. It's up to you to decide how you want to split these costs. We have more questions regarding the budget. Okay, we discussed this is the 15,000 maximum budget. Can airplane tickets be covered by travel costs?
Yes.
If you use a good justification, for sure.
If it contributes to the project.
Yes.
Regarding the budget, we have some confusion in relation to the purchase of consumables necessary for the activity implementation. As the applicant guide states in 4.21, VAT cannot be listed as expense. Should we list consumable prices in the budget without
with VAT? Include them with VAT.
We have the same confusion about the services related to the activity, so include VAT. If organization is fully volunteer-based, do we have to include in-kind contribution of the organizing team, or we can leave that budget line empty?
I would ask Ana Radovic, is this a new organization that you do not have experience in project implementation? Because no matter how much willing we may be to support everything voluntarily based, it's not fair for other organizations who co-finance the project. Maybe I don't know how you are organized as an NGO, but try to co-fund it somehow. Like try to find partners who have some
Or
budget in
others,
place,
yes.
or who can be the co-financers.
Or even provide you with the space that they can give you an invoice for that it's paid
Yes.
by them, or
other donors, but according to national laws, at least I'm now referring to 3 contracting parties, even voluntary-based work should be paid at least food for them. So, or travel expenses.
are there any limits framework for per diems for experts and also human resources who will be paid per month?
These are internal decisions that you have in regard to human resources. Because we believe that you already have contracts for them. And you should, that's what I said, you should not change the contract because of us. You should continue with the same contract and just add if you want to co-finance it by us. However, per diem for experts, if you refer to GIZ, USAID, European Union, like regional experts per day, they have certain amount, the average amount. Refer to their price list, and for us, it's completely fine.
Yes.
Any other questions so we can continue with the rest of the budget lines?
Can we,
Okay.
um,
Can we have some of the activities in the Western Balkans countries from which no partners participate in our project? As long as it is in one of the 6, it's fine with us.
Yubica, please understand that WBF works with governmental money, meaning that we pay taxes, and you should include the amount, specific unit amount or lump sum amount, I don't know, with VAT included. If it was funded by European Union, that would be a different question, because EU doesn't cover the VAT. But in this specific case, yes, we cover it in the unit price or the total amount.
We do have co-financing and paid meals and accommodations, but one that
But wouldn't be that within second budget section. That we are going, Anna, now we are moving to the second budget head, but we were responding to the questions. So, transportation and accommodation, just one more question and we will.
In connection to the payment,
No.
no, there is no need.
No need, Maria, no need, because we are not European Union funded project. This call is totally WB6 funded.
Moving on.
The transportation costs. If you had foreseen, for example, we consider international travel, everything that is out of WB6, starting from Croatia, Slovenia, Austria, Bulgaria, Romania, and beyond. That is for us international travel, which can take, it can be
train, bus,
flight, train, or based on kilometers. As you see in our guidelines, the price that the amount that is per kilometer in our guidelines is 0.30 cents accumulated with 200 kilometers, for example. That is one way. If you, for example, those who are in Bosnia and Herzegovina, they plan to have someone from Croatia, you need to put the exact amount of kilometers one way and the other way.
You can use the via Michelin,
and it calculates perfectly. 0.30, 0.30.
No, this is kilometers.
3,000. Let's put it 3,000. Back and forth. You see, in the total cost of 3,000 kilometers, it is 900 euros. Here, you can put you want to co-finance it, 100 euros, 800 will WBF will co-finance it. If you really need this international travel, because Xenia is writing regional, we are still in international. You, as Uroš was saying before, this has to have some value or direct impact to the project. For example, we need an expert from Slovenia because this expert is the best and knows the region. To us, it's completely understandable because we understand that the geographical proximity, mindset, the similar methodology to certain issues, the expertise is very much more valuable coming from Slovenia and Croatia rather than someone from UK. Like, we completely understand. But it has to have some direct impact to the project. The flights, the average amount per flight within Europe cannot be higher than 300 euros. Because we know that now we have low-cost airlines, we have Air Serbia that covers most of the Europe, and we travel a lot, so we know that the approximate, if you plan ahead, the approximate amount, it cannot go more than 200, but we gave you more, in this case, up to 300 euros round-trip ticket, if the person comes from Europe. Do we have any question? No. Okay.
For what we understand, VAT needs to be included in the unit cost, but it's not eligible cost. Can we ask reimbursement for the Albanian state, for example, and the end of the project? Sorry, but we didn't understand before.
Okay, so in Albania, every March you go and you declare your taxes, and then it is up to the tax administration system to accept or not your request, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. However, it is a certain amount that they can return it to you. So I don't know if you can reach that amount with this project. As we said before, please put the VAT in the amount that you plan. We will not reject it. And what you do after it, how you apply to your tax administration system, it is up to you.
Because when you will declare in reporting period, you will have invoice and proof of payment. And
Yes.
for sure, in invoice, we will see cost of service plus VAT.
Yes.
And that's...
And do not divide it artificially, because as Uroš said, in every invoice, in every country in Western Balkans, it is written, it must be written, it's by law to be written what is VAT, what is the real cost of the service. So we check invoices. But you said that you are based in Italy. I don't know what kind of agreement you have with Albanian law, with Albanian tax administration system. Maybe you as an international organization, you are excluded from the taxes, which for us, it doesn't play much difference because that money remains with you when it is returned after the project is concluded. Okay.
We have even like some organizations who are dealing with marginalized groups, and they do not pay VAT even though they are registered in Ireland.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on.
Bus ticket, local transport, I think it is very clear for you. Bus ticket, it should be per unit or per participant or per ticket or...
Yes, and if you develop your project proposal clearly, as we said previously, you will know roughly that you will have 10 participants.
Yes.
And where they're coming from. And in justification, just say based on our current experience or so far experience, the average price is, I don't know, 10 euros or whatever. So it will be like, okay, even though if they increase the price during the project implementation, but we will need that for the evaluation of the project, and later you will be able to reallocate or do whatever similar. But please be in that regard really.
But also in our region, you have a lot of websites that provide you with the real-time prices per ticket. For example, you have Giraffa that covers all the region. Like wherever you want to go, it gives you the agency who does the service and the price of the ticket based on the destination.
Yeah.
So you can even say in the justification that we relied on the let's say the list of provided by certain browser, internet
Yes.
browser,
Or as a little hint, so far also some grantees like engage the service provider as a travel agency if they had a lot of people. It is also possible, but pay attention about the public procurement rules as it is stated in our guidelines. But it's also okay to engage someone who will provide you with a bus driver.
but please include here a round trip ticket. When you, for example, when you say, as Xenia said, 10 participants from Montenegro, 10 participants from Albania will attend the summer camp, for example, I don't know, in Bar, you cannot put only 15 euros, which is one-way ticket, but you should put 30 euros because it is a round trip ticket. So the unit price should change. We will move on. No, we don't have, then accommodation cost, hotel and board. So here, when you press the unit, let's go to the unit, up, yes. Here, it should be per night. And the per night unit, when it's nights, it should not include participants. For example, if participants are 40, but they are going to stay 2 nights, it means they are 80 units. And then here you put the unit price. And here, as you already know by now, what is co-financed by you, what is co-financed by us.
And in justification, please clarify the calculation as Daphne said.
Yeah.
Be taken units, it's, I don't know, 40 times 2, 40 participants or how much we said, and
Yes.
2 nights, and that's
Yes.
it. Just for us to know, because we will measure actually against the timeline of activities and the activities and overall project proposal, so everything should be in line.
Yeah,
One question.
2 nights. And then you can go on. Just let's see the question.
Whether and how much can we deviate from the planned budget and implementation budget by items? Because sometimes we cannot plan so precisely.
For sure, like we know that some prices are changed and so on, you will be able during the project implementation to apply for budget reallocations. I don't know, some savings and so on, but regarding the number, let's say in this case, number of participants, and you mentioned that number in activities and everything else, it would be really hard to justify why, and you did not provide risks, why you did not involve, let's say, 40 participants.
The only thing that, Maria, please understand, the only thing that you cannot reallocate never is the HR. Like HR stays as it is. You can have savings from HR and put it in direct action cost, but if you have savings down and you want to move it to HR, that is bad planning from your side and we cannot reallocate that. everything else can be reallocated. And I don't think that no matter how much you try, within 15,000, you will not have a lot of deviation that will change the let's say the whole budget.
Yes, but for example, if you have some savings, let's say in bus tickets, you can easily
Yes,
apply.
put it down. Please
We have
continue with.
47 minutes.
Oh, okay, okay, let's move on. So printing and publishing in this budget line, please understand that printing and publishing are two processes. In both cases, you need to include the design as well. No matter how good your let's say design software is, companies they always need to adapt it to their own system, to what they print. So if you think that 80 cents is the printing of one page, simple page, be more realistic and put it €1 or put it in lump sum. If you spend less, we will reallocate it later. But do not be very much precise, because you may face cases that you will have shortages in this budget line. Let's continue to the next one. Studies and research. Here you cannot include people. We know that the research should be developed by people, but here it should be like, for example, annual membership to SPSS, or
data access to
database or something like that. But you cannot include people. Translation and interpreters. Here, please include it per unit. The unit should be per day. As experts, we know that one translator can translate for 4 hours. In one day, if your event is 8 hours, you need 2 translators for the same language. Be careful when you plan that. Rent of premises and related technical services. This refers to LED wall, sound equipment, simultaneous translation, headphones, microphones, whatever that is related to the rent of premises. For example, the conference room that hotel is going to give you, or the institution.
And feel free to rename
yes.
budget line.
Visibility actions. These are directly linked with the money spent on promotion. For example, Facebook advertisement, LinkedIn advertisement, or for example, you want to attend to some competition or to some program in TV, but you need to pay. Please include it here. Fees for experts. Here is 3.6. It is dedicated only to experts. This is the budget line that you can include experts of research, experts of trainings, experts of the moderators, I don't know, panelists, whatever you consider that is needed for the project. This is the budget line. Do not put it in HR, and do not put it in 3.2 studies and research. Awards and prizes. Please have in mind that even if you plan to give awards and prizes, this implies also procurement process, because you need to purchase these goods to give it to people. In this case, you need to understand that procurement procedure has to be applied. If the total amount is more than €2,000, the procurement procedure needs to take place. Fees for artists and copyrights. Here, for example, if you want to publish something that is already published, like some author's book or some author's theater play, you want to revitalize it again, you need to understand that first thing. And I think that in our region, we have to learn that we cannot, we should learn that we should ask the artist or the author for the copyright. Cost of consumable, this is specifically dedicated to the consumables of the action. For example, if you have a summer camp, I don't know, with marginalized groups, you need to have a lot of plays, and there you need to purchase a lot of goods for them to implement the activity better. You put it here.
Also, if it's research or something scientific, all the eprovets and markers, whatever you're using can be used here. Or art supplies if you're dealing with art.
Yes, and especially this budget line, please redefine, rename it.
Cost and services and supplies purchased by beneficiary. So here, more or less, for example, you need event management company, which cannot be given completely to the agency, but some of the costs that can be covered by the event management company and will reduce your cost in printing, visibility, promotion, you can include it in one budget line, in this one. Bank charges, even though these are indirect costs, we still want to free you from the burden of having administrative costs. So you can include here in lump sum amount for the overall period of the project or per month. It depends on you, how much you think that you will have bank charges. The indirect cost cannot be more than 10%. This amount includes monthly utilities, I don't know, accounting services, something that the organization must pay every month for the better implementation of the project. So this is all for the budget. We will go to documents. At this stage, we have learned from the questions that we received that everybody is concerned about partnership agreement or what documents should be uploaded now. Try to understand at this stage, WBF doesn't ask you for any statute, any partnership agreement, nothing, any certificate. We just ask you for this document that needs to be downloaded if you press to the arrow there. Xenia will show it to you now. How does it look? It is called Declaration of Honor, where you voluntarily sign as a lead applicant that you are willing to respect all the rules set in the guidelines. So this is the document that you need to scan, and it has to be downloaded again.
Download it and then you upload.
Yes, upload it, sorry. Here. So once you choose file, then.
And please, fail to upload it again can result rejection.
Yes. And.
No, you don't need to have partnership agreement at this moment. No. If you pass to the next stage, you will be contacted and asked for the additional documents, but this stage, don't worry about it. Don't stress. You have some 15 days, so focus.
So, and in the end, you have the application checklist, which you need to voluntarily press whatever applies to you, and you press submit. Unless all the sections are not responded, understand that the system doesn't allow you to submit.
And once all the parts are successfully finished, you will have a check like here. So all this will be in a green check.
And now back to Uroš.
Yes. If you do not have any questions, we would really appreciate if you could fulfill a short questionnaire regarding this, let's say, workshop or like info session, because we learn a lot from your experience, from your point of view, and please feel free to take 3 minutes of your time to fulfill what you have to suggest us to improve, or what should we explain better. We would really like to hear you, and that's it. And still, if you have any questions, please. we do not have any more question. We wish you really a good day and we have question. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. And good luck with your application. We are really looking forward to read really interesting project proposals, and it's really nice to hear what people in the region and with which enthusiasm are implementing all interesting project proposals, and we learn a lot from you. So thank you, and hopefully